Hello, I'm Sideshow back with more over.gg coverage of MLG Vegas, and this time, fresh off the win, I've got Cloud9's Mendokusaii. And you guys have played 3 matches so far today. You won 2 and lost 1, and they were both to the same people actually. You won against NRG twice, both 2-0s, but some of the maps were fairly close. Like the first time you played them, Ilios was fairly close. So, how do you feel you guys have performed so far compared to your expectations?
Well, this is my real first event, so personally I'm pretty happy with my performance. Versus FaZe, we struggled a bit. My playstyle was a bit off, and I played a bit too aggressive, I think. I had to adjust that towards after, and versus Energy, I played a lot better. But in general, as a team, we lost. We didn't let it affect our play. We just moved on to the next thing. We talked about it. What did we have to fix? What comp changes might we have to do for the next game? And all in all, I'm pretty happy with our performance so far.
What were your expectations coming into the event? Obviously, it's a fairly stacked tournament in terms of North American competition. You've got Envious here, who just came up fresh off a win at Apex. You've got Fnatic, who came second at DreamHack, seemed to be performing fairly well. So how were you feeling? Where do you think your team could have placed before you came into the tournament, that is?
Well, I don't want to ever get ahead of myself, so I always focus on the game, just the game that I'm about to play. So I don't focus on, most likely we're going to meet up Envy later in the bracket, but I always focus on the game just ahead of me. But realistically, I thought we were going to go pretty far, but personally, it is my first real event, so I couldn't really compare it to anything else for me. I just focus on, I take it as an experience. I want to learn as much as I can. I want to get as good as I can and learn just as much as playing on a stage in front of a crowd, all this stuff. But realistically, I did believe that we're going to go pretty far. I think we have a chance at winning the entire tournament if we play well and we fix our mistakes. I guess we're going to see that tomorrow.
How does your team feel about the current state of Overwatch in terms of the balance and the meta that people are playing with? It's very tank heavy. You're a team that have particular 2-star DPS players. How does that fit into how you guys are enjoying or performing in the game at the moment?
I don't think anyone enjoys this meta. I think even watching it is pretty painful. But as players, we can voice our opinions, we can complain in hopes of it being fixed, because honestly, I think just playing quad tank all the time is boring and broken. But all in all, we have to focus on performing and playing. Even if we don't like it, it's our job. This is we're here to compete. Even if we don't find it fun, we don't want to play this character, we have to. It's our job. That's what we have to do. But we don't like it. I don't think any team does. It's pretty boring and stale playing the same comps all the time and having it be low time to kill based on Roadhog's hook, and it's just anti-fun in general.
Ignoring the enjoyment part of it, how do you feel it fits your team's strengths or weaknesses?
It's okay. We're pretty good in teamwork, communication, individual skill. We have good players on all around the team. We have a really good healer. We have a really good main tank. We have a good Roadhog player. I can play Zarya. I can play D.Va, and I think we're pretty just stacked in terms of what heroes we play. But I believe our strength in the team is that we have really flexible players that can swap out to things in the middle of a game and make it work depending on the enemy's comp. And we can't really utilize that as much, so we can't play to our full potential. But it fits the team fairly well. We're not really all that experienced with playing slow and patient, looking for these bullshit hooks, but we play it pretty well. We have to adjust it so it fits our playstyle. We like playing aggressive, confidently, pushing into people, going for kills, but we have to find a middle point so we can make the composition work. But it works pretty well. We have pretty good players for the entire meta.
You said that you're a player who's just adjusting to the stage for the first time. What are your previous experiences? Obviously, within Overwatch, you're kind of one of the older names, because we saw you on IDDQD back in the day when you went on that the crazy run, and then you were playing for a bunch of other teams on the way there. But how has this experience been for you, and adjusting to playing actually on a stage in a huge tournament?
I was a bit not scared, but I was really excited to play, but I wasn't sure how I was going to do individually, because maybe I'll get up on stage and I'm super nervous. I've never been nervous before, so I wouldn't know what that really feels like. But I just sat down and it felt fine. I just look at the monitor, nothing else exists for me. I just play the game. I'm just super focused. I focus on the game, talking to my teammates, making sure everything works out, communication and everything. But I don't tilt, and I didn't get nervous. It didn't really affect me that there were spotlights in my face and cameramen walking around. Before this, I've never left my house. I left my house to move to NA to play video games here. And then I had the small event where I subbed for a team for Take TV. I had some casting there, but it wasn't anything big. It was just a living room. It was extremely nice, so it didn't make me nervous. But I just walked up on stage the first game. I was a little bit nervous, but really excited to play. And then I just sat down and was I've never had that much fun in my life. it's the best experience I've had so far in my entire life, just playing on stage that I'm having with my teammates.
So you said that you just moved to North America to play in this new team. So what was that experience like, moving from being a European player playing online to moving directly into a team house with Cloud9 when you were over there, and those experiences directly with your team?
Well, I have amazing teammates, so it was like really easy to just like walk up to them and we can always talk about things, and there's never like an awkward moment or boring. We're all really good friends and really good teammates. And for me, I've lived in my room my entire life, but I was completely fine just going for it, pursuing my dream. And the biggest difference for me was that now we're living in West Coast and we get like 5 MS, whereas otherwise I played with 180 MS every tournament. There's a huge difference. Like, I know I struggled playing McCree, like shooting a Genji Reflect with high MS, I can shoot it before the Reflect ends because then the damage will be applied after it ends. I kept killing myself with McCree just shooting Reflex because I didn't know that as soon as I shoot, that's when the damage is dealt, because I wasn't used to it. Like, I love NA. It's so much fun, especially living with my teammates, because it's just always fun. We just sit together in like chairs and we can just have fun. We play board games and hang out. It's so much fun. I'm so happy I'm here right now.
What was the process like of integrating yourself into the new Cloud9 roster? Because it wasn't like you were fitting into a team that already had kind of an identity. It was a 3 swap, so it was almost half of it was half of a new team being made. So it had a bit of a different feel when we were watching you guys play for the first time. You had Wolf before you had Rolf, and it was like a constant trial process. So what was that like, fitting into the new team?
For me, the biggest thing is that I had to adjust my playstyle to work together with my teammates. Like, Shortfor to me, he's probably the best player in the world. He has so much experience in other games, and like he's amazing at Overwatch. It's just like, he consistently surprises me every day. And but we both share the same playmaker playstyle. Go for these kills, pop up on the kill feed all the time. And I had to adjust my playstyle to be the more core teammate player where I can peel from my teammates. I use my flashbangs defensively to help my supports or something, stuff like that, just so I can accommodate Shortfor's playstyle and in all just strengthen the entire team as a whole. And I had to adjust my playstyle like that. And I'm not completely comfortable with it yet because I don't have experience with it, but I'm working on it, and everyone's very understanding and they help me out, especially Shortfor. He knows if I play poorly, like I did versus FaZe, I played too aggressive. We just sat down after the game and we talked, and he helped me out, gave me tips, and then after that, I just felt I played really well versus Energy. And together with my teammates, I can learn playing this new playstyle, so I can help my team just get better and stronger. And especially Shortfor, to relieve pressure off of him, so he doesn't have to be this consistent star player that has to perform all the time and make these crazy plays. So I can just be in the core. I don't pop up and kill feed as much. I might use my ultimates to bait the enemy ultimates, but it's all just for the team. And he's the shining star player, everyone looks at him, which means that if I'm left uncontested, I can do some stuff too, pretty consistently as well, especially since I play with that role. I play together with my supports, and that was like the biggest thing for me. And then I had to build synergy together with Rib, like McCree flash combos with Reinhardt. We did a lot of those. We practiced them, and we have like insane synergy now in terms of communication, and then we hang out a lot. Me and Rolf, in terms of positioning for Ana, so I can be ready to shield him with barriers, or if he gets dived by Genji, I have to be ready with a flashbang. Just I had to be this player that helps the team out more than kill the enemy team. I just help my team kill the enemy team.
Something interesting about the new Cloud9 roster is that since they brought you in and Ribbon, who'd had so much success at the Overwatch Open, he was there as a sub, and people hadn't really expected that much of him because he was previously a flex player, and it had been months and months before he'd actually been on a main tank role in Impulse 11. But he and you and Rolf have come into the team with a lot of, on paper, really good talent. So the Cloud9 roster is a very stacked roster, and although you guys have been doing very well online in tournaments, you haven't actually been facing against Envy and Fnatic because they haven't been there or they haven't been competing online. So what I'm wondering is, do you feel like you're currently living up to the potential of your roster on paper, or is there more to get out of Cloud9 once you go further down the route in terms of experience and teamwork?
There is so much more for this team, for sure. I know personally I can improve a lot. I learned so much just from a day or two playing at the stage here, and I can notice I'm becoming better at the game, and I understand more about the game, just playing in a different scenario on stage with people, and like in a different just situation together with my teammates, and we learn so much, or especially me, and then I learn things about my teammates every day that will help me play together with them. And especially with this meta, it's not really utilizing our strengths at like flexible players, and we have 2 DPS players, and the skill cap is kind of low, so the performances of like who wins and loses is relatively inconsistent sometimes because of how the tank fights are played out occasionally. But in the future, there's so much more for this team. We can get so much better.
Bringing it back to Vegas and the route that you've got left to go, you guys have now made your way into the playoffs. Complexity are going to be playing just now against Fnatic. So how do you feel about the route of the playoffs going forwards?
I'm just focused on the next game. I'm going to do my best, and I'm pretty confident we can put on a good showing. I learned a lot today, and I'm going to make sure I use that tomorrow. There's not much more for me to say about it because it's just like I'm focused on the next game, and we're all going to play to our absolute best, hopefully, and we're all going to just focus on winning. We're not here for anything else. You know, Vegas for me is, I'm 18, I can't do anything. I'm here super focused, and we're all focused on the game itself and just winning and doing our best.
Well, good luck for your games tomorrow. Hope you do well.